Okay, thank you all for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started. We are here on the live webinar of Houston in Action with Harris County Clerk's Office, the Harris County Clerk's Office, talking about voting centers. Thank you for being here. So ahead of early voting and Election Day, we at Houston in Action have partnered with Harris County to help spread the word about exciting new changes to the way we vote in Harris County, namely voting centers and some other cool tools that the county has developed. Through the work of great advocacy and partnership, Houston in Action members have worked with the County Clerk's Office as they've continued to make voting more convenient and accessible for Harris County voters through voting centers. Being a part of this event today is important on a variety of levels. Chances are you're here because you know that Harris County has a lot of work to do when it comes to getting out the vote. Earlier this year, Houston in Action members released Take Action Houston, a research project which highlighted the fact that Texas ranks 44th nationwide in registering eligible voters, with Harris County lagging behind those registration rates by 5 to 12%. And as you may know, the last day to register to vote was last Monday, 1 month before Election Day. This kind of timeline is one of the reasons that Take Action Houston researchers say that it's more difficult to vote in Texas, while 11 other states offer up to same day voter registration. Texas has one of the 10th longest pre-election deadlines. Also, between 2012 and 2016, the number of polling locations decreased in Harris County, but now countywide voting centers are implemented in Harris County, and these centers have been available statewide since 2005, but thanks to the County Clerk's Office, Harris County has now applied for them and been approved and begun implementing voting centers. Houston in Action members are committed to working with the Clerk's Office to continue with an approach to vote centers that expands the electorate, improves access, and remains equitable, and we're really grateful for that partnership. The event today is intended to train those who are planning to vote or those who help people make their plans to vote about voting centers and other updates for this election year in Harris County. As you have questions, please add them to the Q&A box in the Zoom app, which should be in the lower part of your screen. And we'll make sure that there's time at the end of the presentation to discuss all appropriate questions. For Houston in Action members who may be on the call and partners who have joined us today, the printed materials can be made available through the staff at Houston in Action. And without further delay, I'm pleased to have Roxanne Werner with us today. Roxanne is the Director of Community Relations at the Office of Harris County Clerk Diane Troutman. I'll let you take it away, Roxanne. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you all for joining me on this Monday morning. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. If you're on this webinar, you probably do know there is an election coming up, and we've got a few key dates to keep in mind. As Chris mentioned, the last day to register to vote was October 7th. The first day of early voting is actually 1 week from today on October 21st. The last day to receive an application for ballot by mail is October 25th. Early voting ends November 1st, and then Election Day is November 5th. So we are just a week away from early voting, which is really exciting. And it's exciting for a variety of reasons. Any election is exciting, but this one is really exciting because we have several new things that should make it easier and more convenient for Harris County voters. So first off, we have more early voting overall. There are 6 new early voting locations, including on campus at U of H and TSU. So for this election, we'll actually have a total of 52 early voting locations. The early voting hours have been extended. So essentially every day for the 2 weeks of early voting, the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., except Sunday, October 27th, they'll be open from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. As was mentioned earlier, the big thing this November is countywide polling. So we are one of, I think it's over 60 now counties that do this in Texas, and we will be the largest county in the country to do this for this election. And essentially, countywide polling lets voters cast a ballot at any one of the 757 polling locations in Harris County this November. So all of the early voting locations will be open on Election Day, and all of the precinct locations will also be open on Election Day. And voters can choose from any one of those. So if they want to go to the typical polling location they always go to, they absolutely can do that. Maybe new voters who are just more familiar with one of the early voting locations, they can go there. And then also, of course, any of the other locations will be available to them as well. And because of these new changes, we have a couple of things that are we've developed to empower voters to find a poll that is best for them. So harrisvotes.com will have a map of the early voting and election day locations. And on that map, it will also have kind of a red, yellow, green wait time system. So you can take a look at, first off, all of the locations, find one that's close to you, and then see what the line is. So if it's something that you're really in a hurry, you want to find a location that has a green light and then get in and out. Some of the more popular locations might be yellow, but you might be willing to wait there because either you just like that location or maybe it is convenient and you can wait a little bit longer. And then red just means, hey, there's probably a really long line here. Think, West Gray on the first day of early voting typically. So again, unless you are really into that fanfare, you might want to find another location. Another option is voters can also text VOTE to 833 yes 0700, as in yes, we have over 700 election day polling locations. And this text bot is live now. It's a Harris County, we're calling it the Harris County Poll Finder. And so you can start texting this now, encourage people that you know to text it, and it will start sending reminders starting with early voting. So 1 week from today, it will ping you and say, hey, have you thought about making a plan for voting? And you can put in any address, so where you are, where you live, where you work. It doesn't have to be where you're registered. It can be any address you want in the county. And then it will give you the nearest polling location to that address. Then it will also ask you if you want directions either to walk, to take a bus, or a car there. So those are kind of some of the big new things that we have going on this November compared to previous elections. As I mentioned, we have 52 early voting locations. So this is the map of those. The ones in yellow are the new locations. So we have those 6 new locations spread throughout the county, and these are all available on harrisvotes.com or by texting VOTE to 833-937-0700. This is a map of election day locations, and I understand that it's kind of an eye chart. It's really hard to see, but I think it really is a good visual to show how many locations we really have for this election. So it's just a ton of elections all over the county. And so there's hopefully one that is convenient for everyone. And we're really excited about all of these elections. So let's dive into the talking points and messaging about how you all can help spread the word. We want to make sure that every Harris County voter knows that they can vote anywhere on election day, and that there's more early voting locations, all of these things. So kind of to sum it up, this election day, you can vote at any one of the 700 plus locations in Harris County. Where and when you vote is up to you as you vote your way in 2019. So we're using hashtag Vote Your Way. We're really pushing that. It's part of the Vote Your Way is a bigger campaign. So as you guys want to go out and spread the word right now, talk about all the how exciting this webinar is, go out there and use hashtag Vote Your Way. So we have some printable creative assets. We actually have a broader toolkit that's available online, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this right now. Can I? Sure. No.
Hey, Roxanne.
Yes.
We are still seeing your Chrome screen with harrisvotes.com/voteyourway.
Oh, so it didn't go to the PowerPoint?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, the upside is that's what I was going to move over to show you guys, but you're familiar with it because you've been looking at it this whole time. Sorry. This isn't the first time we've done this webinar, but you would have thought we worked out all the technical kinks last time. So this is a toolkit. If you go to harrisvotes.com/voteyourway, it gives you toolkits for community partners and the media. So if you hit download on this community toolkit here, you get a full PDF, which is actually very similar to the one we've been going through today. It has the talking points and the technology. And then when you get to the digital creative assets, as well as the printable assets, you can hit download and it'll open up a screen where you can download any of these. So we have, for digital assets, we have social media posts, we have website ready banners. So if you have a website or a blog where you want to promote this, you can link these onto your website and then link back to Harris Votes. Or if you're sending emails, we have graphics for that as well. So let me go back then to, okay, so it should be back on the presentation now.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. So these are the digital creative assets, as I was mentioning. Our social media accounts and handles. So we're on Facebook and Twitter at Harris Votes. Again, encouraging people to use the hashtag Vote Your Way and get the word out. So we have a few different pieces of technology that I want to talk about as well. As I mentioned earlier, the Harris County Poll Finder tool is a big one. It's an easy text-based system that is live right now. So I mentioned earlier, you can text it right now and get an update on the first day of early voting. And so like right now, if you have your phone out and you want to go ahead and try it, you can text VOTE to 833-937-0700, and it'll give you a prompt. And this Poll Finder tool is available in English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Chinese. We also have it available on Facebook. So if you go to the Facebook page, you can search Harris County Clerk or go to facebook.com/Harris County Elections, and people can message us right there on Facebook, and it will give the same prompts as the text bot. So it will ask where you can vote on election day. Have you decided where you want to get there? And if you need directions, it will help as well. There's also a poll finder map. So you may be familiar with the fact that harrisvotes.com in the past has had a map for early voting. This poll finder map has one for early voting and for election day. And so it will be embedded on harrisvotes.com, but also if you want to embed it on your website or your organization's website, we have that ability. So this is in that toolkit I mentioned at harrisvotes.com/vote-your-way. So if you want to go in and pull that code and put it on a website or a blog or whatever is most convenient for you to share it with your audience, you are more than welcome to do that. We also have a Your Vote Counts dashboard. We're still getting this up and running, but it will live on harrisvotes.com and allows people to understand what their impact of the vote has, so they can kind of easily get information on what the turnout has been like in their area, what's on the ballot for that precinct. And this is also helpful for people who are potentially doing GOTV efforts, because it might help you understand better what precincts maybe have a lower turnout compared to the rest of Harris County, and maybe help focus some efforts. We'll come to the Q&A, but at the end too, I just want to go ahead and give you guys some contact information. The Harris County Clerk's office, for our election day hotline, if you have any issues, the phone number for that is 713-755-6965. We can also be reached at county.clerk@cco.httx.net. So if you want any of the materials that we talked about, or if you have any questions about the election, you can shoot us an email and we'll get you what you need. We also have the Harris County Attorney's phone number here. Hopefully you don't need it, but if you do, or you have any questions about your rights as a voter, or something happens on election day and you want to speak to the Harris County Attorney, you can call them at 713-755-5101. And also the Secretary of State. Again, hopefully you don't need this, but their election hotline is 1-800-252-8683. And so that's kind of my presentation. If you guys want to go back now and do a Q&A. Does anybody have questions?
Thank you, Roxanne. I will go ahead and turn on my screen here, and I will just offer that if anyone has questions, please feel free to use the chat feature at the bottom of Zoom, or the Q&A feature at the bottom of Zoom, and we'll make sure to answer any questions you might have. Roxanne, I know that one of the questions that you have gotten before, just as people are thinking about questions they might have, is just really clarifying the fact that what voting centers means for the county is that quite literally, you can vote at any polling location throughout the county in early voting and on election day.
Yes, that is correct. We have that question pretty often just because it really is such a drastic change from what people are used to. And so I'm going to scroll back up here to the map. So this really is all of the options for people on election day. It's now completely opened up. So anywhere in the county is an option. All 757 locations will be open. When we first started unrolling this, my kind of go-to point was you can vote anywhere, just like early voting. And I think then people thought we only had the locations that we had open for early voting. So we do have those early voting locations open, but also every single precinct location is open. So there really are so many places to choose from. There is no wrong location to vote. We know in the past we've had thousands of people cast provisional ballots that weren't able to count because they were at the wrong location. We've had people show up to maybe early voting locations thinking they could vote there and get turned away. And so this November, there really is no wrong location to vote. You can vote anywhere. If you're looking to get people to a poll, you can point people to wherever is nearest or wherever they know a location is and get them there. So it truly is any location across the county on election day.
Great. That's huge. We did have another question. The question is, will the wait time tool be live on the first day of early voting? And I guess I'll just add to that, how soon can,
Yes, it will. So it won't be up until then. But when you go to harrisvotes.com a week from today for early voting, that wait time feature will be live. So it updates about every half hour. So it's a little bit of not entirely real time, but it is updated pretty frequently. And then that will go live the first day of election day. And like I mentioned, the Harris County, the poll finder, if you want to go ahead and text that number, that is available now, but the wait time feature will be available on October 21st.
Cool. I don't see any other questions coming in. So it seems to me like folks have a good understanding of what was shared, and I think that's great. Yeah, so we will go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you so much, Roxanne. We really appreciate the time and energy and partnership that your office has put into this work, and are excited about the outcomes that it can have for 2019 and improving access for voters across the county. I'll just let folks know who've joined that the webinar will also be made available online after the event. We'll notify folks who were registered for the event via email. And also, I'll just say that if you have not signed up for the Houston in Action's public email mailing list, you should visit houstoninaction.org, and you can click on the Stay Connected button at the top, and you can make sure that you get our email about public information regarding news, events, resources for voting for the 2020 census, and more. And with that, we'll wrap things up. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll look for you online.